So, I actually have a really, I think watching this video on stream would be really nice because, one, I like the person that's talking about it. That's a little biased in a way, but I think Aiden has really good opinions, and I like hearing him voice his opinions. I think he's really good at it. And two, it's about a topic that I care about, even though you guys might think I don't. You guys hear me rant about this a lot of the time, all right? And the idea is Smash Pros are broke, and it won't change. This is something I think would be a really good watch. I think Aiden has a good understanding of the ecosystem. Not to say that I'll agree with him, but I think it is a good thing to watch. I would argue more so for the players than the viewers, but I think it'll be interesting for the viewers nonetheless.
You deserve to make no money. None. And that's the stream. I hate...
Oh, well, shit. All right, I think we're good. My initial thoughts is that, doubling the prize entrance, like the entrance fee. If you get half the people, you get the same pot. If you get the same amount of people, you get double the pot, right? Cool. But then let's say you get half the people, because like the bar is, you kind of make it to where you only need half the entrance. If you have half the people, the TOs are getting paid half. And I think that's pretty, it's pretty buns. Let's be honest. Like, we shouldn't just care about the professionals. We should care about the people running the tournaments as well, in my opinion. And that's why I don't think, to me, and this is just my intro thoughts, I don't think doubling the prize pot or anything will help the ecosystem. I think trying to get more sponsors into the tournaments that we're running to add to the pot is more of the way to go. Albeit it's really hard. I don't know that much of like the businessy side of getting sponsors to do these things. But I think that is probably the best thing that you can do. While also I think Matcherino having like, people fill out some stuff, do some ad stuff to add to the pot, along with letting people be able to crowdfund ways to add to the pot as well. I think that's more so like another route that can happen. I don't personally think increasing entrance fee is a answer. Pros will be getting paid like more, but I don't think it's an answer. And if I'm going to locals, and this is why I like bump up locals so much, if you're a really good player and you want to make money, locals are a really big, consistent like revenue stream, because you don't have to commit 5 days. You probably have to drive or get a carpool. You commit 1 day and you'll make X amount of money. If you get third at a local, you make more than ninth at a major. I think that is something to keep in mind if Smash Pros do want to make more money. Stuff like that.
Basically, this whole thing is happening because there was a thread I saw, because Hungrybox like posted his payout from Pound, which was like $800 for getgetting second at Pound. Which
second
is like
at a major. One of our major tournaments, he got second, and he got $888.30.
Major. He obviously feels that $800 is low, and I think
Let me know if the
generally
audio's
when
good.
you would think of an esport like as big as Super Smash Brothers, you would probably agree that $800 is a pretty low payout. And then there was kind of a follow-up thread that Knuckles, who's like an EUTO, replied basically saying that like $10 more, charging people a $20 fee instead of like a $10 fee, although I think Pound technically charged a $15 bracket fee anyway. Basically, Knuckles was saying that could deter attendees, and it kind of started this like similar cycle of conversation that's been had many times before. Doubling the prize pool doesn't really like solve anything, and I don't think doubling the prize pool actually even changes anything about HBox's tweet. If HBox made the same tweet and it was like $1,600, I think he could garner like the same
It started, yes, but that's what's starting this conversation.
And same sentiment. And I think that's important to keep in mind, is when he's talking about doubling the pool, like this doesn't actually solve, it doesn't even change much of the context around his tweet, let alone solve the problem in this space. And again, because I think people are going to come around to this as like, well, we shouldn't do the good thing at all. It's like, no, I've said a number of times that it's good to do It's still fine if you want to increase entry fees at majors, because it still does help people to some extent. $100 is nicer than $50. I'm not going to pretend that it's not. But you need to keep in mind that the $100 doesn't really solve the problem for that player. So prize pools are low in Smash compared to other T1 and T2 esports. Viewership, players. Smash gets a particularly crazy
subtitles. Let me see.
Amount of in-person attendance, which other games are just like not capable of getting. Basically, being able to pull people out in person is something very unique to Smash and something that makes it special. So prize pools are low in Smash compared to these other games that are sort of in the similar realm as them. So why is that the case? So there's the two obvious cornerstones of this, right? One, we have way lower sponsorship revenue than these other games. We don't do a lot of like sponsorship sales compared to a game like, say, League of Legends or Counter-Strike. These games like have sales teams at companies that sell on the events and bring in a ton of revenue. Smash has historically been really, really bad at this. That's why Papa John's is such a big deal, because that deal is so big, especially for our community.
5 wouldn't change a lot.
There's never been a deal like that for the Smash community before. Historically, these events have gotten almost no sponsorship money, and the few sponsors that are willing to work with Smash events pay really low because they know they can get away with it, or Smash TOs like do not have the tools to like negotiate properly. Esports around your game is like a way of sustaining and growing and like marketing the game and having people buy skins and things like that, right? So they have motivation to support and put money into the scene. Unlike us, obviously Nintendo has not given us a lot of money over the years. So why do people want higher prize pools at all? Well, it supports our players, right? We want people to be able to play the game and earn money playing it. That's like a cool thing. It makes it more viable for people to continue competing. If I'm investing a lot of time in Melee, this like hobby, and I get good enough, I want to be rewarded for it, because eventually I have to cave. I have to go get a job and like grow with the rest of my life, and maybe give up playing Smash that much. But if I can get paid for it, I can continue playing Smash.
You don't have to cave,
right? And then it's also like a hype, marketable thing. Right? $1 million tournament is like a very cool headline and marketable, something that somebody would want to get involved with. So what is this like ecosystem, or like what do prize pools look like for other games? I just thought we'd start off with like normal sports. Prize pools pretty much don't matter, right? Like when you talk about like the NBA finals or you talk about the Super Bowl, not a lot of people are talking about the prizing of like what the team wins. How much money do you make? It's more about like the pride, the notoriety. You're not worried about like money in this.
Wait. You make money for winning the Super Bowl or the NBA finals, or like the team does? I like deadass have never thought of this. Winners and losers get paid. Wow. Okay, interesting. I actually had no idea. I don't know why I've never thought of it. And I do think a part of that is because I know that a lot of players have really good contracts. Tournaments are regular events where Super Bowl is once a year. I mean, technically speaking, tournaments are once a year. You know, like there's only one Pound. There's only one Genesis. There's only one SmashCon. We don't have a league. So it's not like we're playing in a league for the whole year. And I think that's kind of the difference.
And then as far as esports go, we could just take a quick look. Let's start with Dota, because Dota's the only game where it does matter. Dota is like the exception to the rule, where the prize pool is so fucking big, it's all you care about. The game isn't big enough anymore to like stream as an individual and become like this like talent creator, superstar influencer anymore, right? For those of you who don't know, the TI prize pool is now over $40 million. If you win TI, you as 1/5 of the Dota team get paid like fucking like $4 million now. It's insane. $4 million as the individual of 5 on the team. Dude, if you get last place in TI, you still make a shit ton of money.
Both of the teams make $100,000 for last? Holy fucking shit. See, the thing with the current Smash ecosystem is we have mad open tournaments. So Pro League would have to be closed. And that's not really grassroots. So, yeah. I feel like the fact that there's so many different TOs would make sponsors less invested, because they can only sponsor one and done events instead of sponsoring multiple events. Personally, I feel like that, from my perspective, would be why sponsors wouldn't want to like go super all in. I think it'd be tough. I don't think a lot of people in Smash like the idea of closed tournaments in general, because Smash is big. Everybody wants everybody to have a chance. I think that's kind of like how the culture is. I talk about this with League. It's really hard to get into League, or to get into like, let's say, an LCS team, because everything's already set. You have to like super prove yourself way harder than probably the people before you, because the people before you are already in. So if you want to get in, it's really difficult.
That's like when prize pool does matter, right? Where it gets to this like insane
You need
scale
to
where
you don't have to prove yourself. You have to prove yourself to scrim the B team. It's fun. It's difficult.
Tournament fucking changes your life. League of Legends is the biggest game in the world, biggest esports in the world by a lot. And the prize pool for winning worlds in League is like the whole prize pool for the whole event. Dude, what's it, like $2.5 million, $3 million? It's pretty low. But Riot intentionally does this, right? It's like the Super Bowl. It's like the NBA Finals. It's winning worlds is not about winning the prize money, right? In League, all these regions have franchise leagues where you get onto a team, you get paid a really good salary, you get fucking taken care of, and you have all the things like in your life like paid for so that you can pursue playing professional League of Legends. The ecosystem is taking care of you, not as a winner of worlds, but as a professional player as a whole.
The ecosystem
that is like a
taking
more
care of you, not the money.
holistic esport ecosystem probably, where like becoming a pro is enough to sustain yourself and not like getting first or second at every tournament you enter forever, which is not a sustainable way to like take care of yourself, because inevitably it will end. CSGO is...
So far, I think this is the biggest takeaway of the video, to me personally. Is it making you sad? I don't think it's too sad of a thing. It's an important topic.
The whole. So what does a successful esports player look like? You get good results, become a professional player by getting a team sponsor who supports you and pays you. You hopefully make content and become a personality of some kind while you exist as a pro and are on that team. And then afterwards, you get to retire and become an influencer.
Okay, this does exist in Smash. And this is a big takeaway regarding pro players wanting more money, in my opinion, or wanting more like entrance fee, so on and so forth. And this is kind of like, it sums up a lot of things here. Like, there are other revenue sources than the prize pot. And even an example here is, of course, like the thing that started this conversation, HBox posting his winnings for second at pound. We all know that HBox makes a lot of money outside of getting second at pound. And there are, of course, HBox is clearly one of like the top dogs, but you know, we still have like pretty good sponsored players at the lower levels. Not say like the lower skill levels, more so like just the not HBoxes. HBox is very clearly like a titan of the Smash ecosystem, the Smash content ecosystem. And that'll help him a lot in regards to making his own revenue. And that stuff does not one-to-one come from HBox performing well. There are people that, you know, they might not make the content side of things, but there's a lot of really like solid salaries out there for players that are sponsored. So that is still like more of the end goal, I think, for Smashers. But it does, a lot of that does not come from the money made from placing highly. However, the money made from placing highly is kind of like what you want to sustain you until that happens. Tier 1 esports provide livable wages to Smash players. There's a lot to nitpick about that sentence. You know, livable wages and Smash players. I feel like we can settle for a little less. Because, you know, you wanna be able to keep doing what you're doing. I've been in a hotel room with 20 people before. I've been in a hotel room with 20 people. Livable wage. I've lived in a house of 26 people paying $50 for rent to sleep on a couch in a living room. I do think livable wages in terms of like a Smash person can be a little different, but I think things are a lot different now. Esports orgs, in my opinion, they take a good enough care for a lot of players. But the thing is, there is a lot of players, like we'll see somebody who's not ranked in the top 50 get top 8. Are they suddenly going to get a livable wage contract? Probably not. Because every org will and every contract will look pretty different. This is one thing, like if I know somebody's trying to get picked up by a new team and I like talking to them, I'm like, guys, I know that these contracts exist. Try not to sell yourself short because, there is esports orgs that can take advantage of you. But as a player, there is more that you can offer to an esports org. So it does go both ways. But in recent times, maybe, well, COVID kind of like did a little shakeup. But I would say in like late 2019 to early 2020 Ultimate, well, like right before COVID, I think esports orgs were doing really good for players. At least like a lot better than they were prior to. In comparison to the Smash 4 days, I feel like there was maybe a handful of contracts that were really good. Like a literal handful, like a handful of Smash 4 contracts. I'm not talking too much about Melee. And in Ultimate, that handful has definitely blossomed into a lot more players being able to do what they do. And I'll say it, like not a lot of these players are like super crazy on the content side, but they do show up. There's a lot of tournaments, and tournaments themselves are content too. So, it's nice. But yeah, this mainly to say that this outcome as a Smash player does exist. The get good results to secure a team that team starts to take care of you more than like the prize pool of the tournaments do.
And then afterwards, you get to retire and become.
Can I
an
get some
influencer.
Drakes from
Even as a
Matcherino,
professional
by the
sports
way?
player, that is basically your ideal path for success. Is like becoming an icon outside of the game, or enough
Matcherino
as an
is
individual
goated.
that
I'm
when
so
you
happy they're
stop
on the
playing the
rise.
game, you continue to be successful. What are like the problems after like discussing a lot of this? We want to support our players properly, and the conversation often revolves around making the prize pool higher because we think that's better for players. It's more like reflective of the reward of putting a lot of work in, and we want to keep our top players in the game, especially lower level pros who kind of sustain the scene in a way. A lot of the impact of the players who are like ranked 20 to 100 is often forgotten about because that's like the upcoming talent and the people competing in the ether that sort of sustain a lot of the competitive scene. I wanted to get to why raising entry fees does not work in Smash and the FGC, why it doesn't fix this problem. And we can start with HBox.
All right.
The best player.
We made it to the meat of the convo. The groundwork has been laid. Let's get this shit.
Already make the most money. The people who are
I do think this conversation, I don't know one-to-one about the ecosystem of other FGCs, but I can assume it is similar. And I don't think the convo is more so about how can one FGC be more like the other, but more so why Smash being an FGC is not like other esports.
If we talk about upping fees for like small tournaments, that's where it does matter, right? Somebody is paying $200 for their weekend at a major. $210 or $220 is not going to move the needle. But
okay, yeah, I think this was a big point for like a lot of top players. Like when you register for a tournament, usually maybe not 200, but you might pay like 85 to 110 depending on how many events you enter for some of these majors. Definitely not like 200, but I think the point still stands. If somebody at a major is paying $5 to $10 more to enter, it's not going to be a drastic jump in the $100 or so that you're paying. But yeah, when it comes to locals, which I know some people are experimenting more with that, I think this point does matter a little more.
But upping the bracket fee, like we've said, like isn't going to fix any of these problems really either. Where it does matter, if we talk about upping fees for like small tournaments, that's where it does matter, right? Because the money matters so much more in your decision to attend a tournament in that case. The local
as
increasing
the pro player,
from $10 to $20 is a big deal.
The person
I'm
not
it over
like
and over again.
winning,
maybe I have to take a lot of my time out of the day to drive there, and I could just stay at home and play Slippy. It's not matching the spectacle and experience of a major. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is
I feel like you could definitely touch on that a little more. There is an unedited version. I might watch it on my own time, just to kind of see more of that point. But I didn't think about that much, because I'd be like, yeah, you know, if locals had a higher prize pool, you know, we could just pros would go to locals and then we could make more money off locals. But what about the guy that goes to the local, a long day of work, has to pay, instead of 10, got to pay $20 a week, so on and so forth, you know? Yeah, I don't think, like, there's sometimes I'd go to a local and I just want to play friendlies. I'll pay a venue fee, play some friendlies for a couple hours, head home. Like, I'm not trying to stay for the whole tournament regardless. One thing that I'm surprised Aiden hasn't talked about yet, because I think this is important. You know, the less entrants that you have, it's not that you're just changing the prize pot. You know, that's less people paying the venue fee. And the ecosystem isn't only about the players. How are we expecting TOs to make money if we have half the entrants? That's half the venue fee, but the venue fee isn't getting changed. We're just changing how much the players get. But then what about when the TOs who already aren't making that much money make even less money? You know? I think that's something that is a little more of a topic point. At least for me. I think for me.
Like the payouts at the top are the majority of what we're paying into when we increase the entry fee. And I think the players that Moxie's like highlighting are probably not like MK Leo and Spargo, who have like really good sponsors and probably make a lot of money outside of their prizing. Talking about the lower level
people
pros
who are trying to get in
15 to 50 range.
The people who are trying to get in that made the top
do not
8
make a lot of money and probably deserve to be paid more. And getting money through their performance and their in bracket is a way of them getting more money. But why isn't this very effective? When you talk,
this is I think this is the big thing. Like, when you're at that point of trying to get in, trying to get that sponsor, trying to get your foot in the door, and you're not getting paid a lot, I think that is definitely where it matters a lot more. Because when you don't have the sponsor, or you don't have the stream or the YouTube, and like you're, and I've talked about it a lot, for certain tournaments, probably top 4, let's do it top 4 as hypothetical. Usually it might be a little more, it might be a little less. Let's just say top 4. Top 4 can go even or make profit the higher you go. Some tournaments it's top 3, go even or make profit. And, you know, sometimes the people in the top 3, you're not the person paying for your flight or hotel, so you're making actual profit. But for the people that aren't like sponsored and such, that are paying for their hotel, that are paying for their flight, when you get like 4th at a major tournament, you're probably going negative. You're probably losing money to get 4th place at a major tournament. And if in like our you want those people to not want to go negative. You know? You want those people to be able to try and prove themselves more and more, so that way they can get the sponsors and can get their foot in the door.
Let's say it's a jump from $10 to $20. We're talking about a jump from maybe they're getting $100 instead of $50. That doesn't pay for shit. That's a fraction of what they even pay to fly out and stay at the major that weekend. That's what doubling the pool does. It gets from that small amount to that next small amount. Neither are enough to sustain them. Neither are enough to make it a career. They still need to climb up the ranks, become a better player in the top 5, top 10. And that was doubling the prize pool. So what's the next thing? Should we triple the prize pool? Should we quadruple the prize pool? To say that $250 is going to be meaningful in keeping them around in Smash longer, in letting it be a full-time job for them. It's like, it's not realistic with living expenses in any sense, right? It doesn't match what an actual job or sponsorship would be in any sense.
I think that, again, I think that's one of the main arguments. A job 95 times out of 100 is better than a 7th to 7th to 25th placing at a major.
If we're stuck on prize pools, if it had to be done through prize pools, we need to get to like a Dota level, right? Not literally dollar for dollar Dota level, but using Dota as an example, where prize pools are so overwhelmingly the majority of way that the average pro player can find their money in the scene. You have to consider that even if we get like enough sponsorship money to make that possible, say every event gets $100,000 sponsorship from whatever company.
$100,000 sponsorship from whatever company. Sounds interesting, Aiden. April 26th. Yeah, that would be pretty crazy, Aiden.
That fee is not obligated to all go to players, right? It's going to be split among staff, support, broadcast, and then deepening payouts in general, right?
Oh, not this 100,000.
It gets split among so many people. That isn't a raw 100K that you're just going to send at players. There's a bunch of underpaid people participating in grassroots Smash event creation. That amount of sponsorship money needs to be so big that the person getting 25th winning money at top 32 at a major is still getting paid enough for that to matter.
I just want to say I do agree. I talk about it a lot that getting 9th at a major blows because you don't have a bad placing. Like, honestly, you really don't. 9th out of like 1,000, 9th out of 2,000, you know, that's not bad. But performance-wise, or not performance, payout-wise, it's as bad as going 0-2 at majority of tournaments. Like, it does not matter unless you make top 8. And even if you make top 8, it does not matter unless you make top 4, in my opinion. Sometimes 5th and 7th can be pretty big. Summits are excluded, different prize pools, different structure. But for like usually big open tournaments that pay for top 8, very tournament standard for Smashers. 9th sucks. 9th is like very feels bad. You know, you probably got some crazy good wins. You could have even beat MK Leo and Spargo in losers bracket to get $0. It's tough. It's tough. You know, like I got 7th at Evo 2017. I got $75. 75. I could have entered an MSM, got 2nd, and I had 4 more days to do things. In comparison to getting 7th out of 2,000 to 3,000 competitors to get $75. It was, I probably paid $75 to buy water bottles over the weekend. You know, it's tough. It's tough. It's really bad. And I think that's a big point of why, like, if the ecosystem is good enough to pay top 32, where the guy getting 25th gets, you know, a sizable chunk, or like, I mean, not like a sizable chunk, but I do think there was a great example with TI earlier. I don't know where it is. Somewhere around here, where the people in last got like 17,000 apiece. You know, the people in last got 17,000, and you know, for the one tournament a year, 17,000 is not good. But the people in second to last got like 70,000. That's pretty good. But I do think this is like a pretty nice point.
Underpaid people participating.
You're not reminiscing to TK Smash Rap. Somebody gift like 2 subs, bro. Like, there's a reason this is my gift sub notification. You know, like, there's a reason. I don't just have it there because I like to be sad about it, but it's reality. It's reality, man.
Winning money.
Yeah, damn, I'm fucking rich. Psych, nah, I play Smash, so I'm broke as a bitch. Yeah.
That's from the heart. TK's not making a rap like that because he wants people to think he's broke. You know, like We pay more for our controllers. A controller costs more than what 7th place gets.
I'm fucking rich. Psych, nah. I play Smash.
You can't even buy a
broke as
controller
bitch.
with 7th place payouts. That's crazy. Daryl, thank you for the 5. Drago, thank you for the 2.
At top 32 at a major is still getting paid enough.
That's on
for that to
Nintendo.
matter. And I think
little,
like
a
the
little.
closest we've gotten to this is Smash Summit 11 and Ultimate Summit 3, where 13th was getting like $2,500.
Yep. Getting last at Ultimate Summits, you still get like 4 digits, which is pretty nice. You get paid for getting last. You have a good time. You're not super depressed because you still got really good practice all weekend. You get content out of it. You get to be on the couch. You know, there's a lot of incentives along with getting. Oh, they get you food for the weekend. You know, so on and so forth. And you know, exposure is exposure. I'm not gonna say that exposure pays the bills because that's a completely different topic. But you, for your time, you do get paid. You do get paid 1-to-1. You don't have to go on the couch. You don't have to be in any skits, and you're still gonna get paid.
What's like the actual solution then? Like, what's a more realistic way of like getting money into the scene and like helping people? You need enough interest, viewership, and sales activations in the games that teams want to sponsor players for their skill or stream notoriety. Having a salary, having like basically a job with a team that provides them with benefits is what they need over trying to win prize money occasionally at every tournament they go to. And then in turn with the sponsors that they get, hopefully leverage like a following or stream or something like that for more brand and influencer opportunities so that when they retire, they like have something
get clout
left
off
after
of
they
top
leave
8
all of this,
discussion.
right? How do we get
but
there?
In like literal words.
You gotta watch more. Viewership is like the core component of this. Watching more Smash streams, more tournament streams, getting your friends into it, encouraging people to fucking watch more in general. Obviously, it's not like an individual doesn't have the power to change this, right? And there's a bunch of things that the community could do, like community leadership could do to shift and increase viewership. I'm not like putting the blame on you guys, for example, but if you wanted to help, right? You watching more fucking tournaments and watching tournaments between majors, like boosting viewership on the whole, is something that sways sponsors and teams into sponsoring Smash players. That's all really, really important. My final asterisk on like all of this is that even in like a huge game with all this support, with all this opportunity for pros, low-level pros will still struggle, especially in a 1v1 game, I think. And I think tennis is a good example where there's a lot of like lower-level pros who are basically playing paycheck to paycheck, even though they're fucking incredible in one of the most popular sports in the world. And that's because they have so many expenses associated with the sport they play, and we will probably struggle with that forever, no matter how good we get. And I think that's something to keep in mind. It's like that the problem always exists to some extent. Okay, so Brandon's making a good point. I think more than just telling us to watch for viewership, there has to be a way to make it more entertaining. So yeah, this is what I tried to say at the end of like the actual lecture, if you will, or the rant. Me asking you guys or telling you guys to just watch more is like not actually the solution, right? No single person by just like watching a bunch more is gonna change this issue. More
like if I start watching
holistic
everybody's
solutions
YouTube
need to be
videos
introduced by
Twitch
like community
streams.
leaders and figures to raise viewership. And there's a bunch of different ways of doing that, right? The product could be like more entertaining and better put together. There could be like a structured circuit that keeps top players attending events on a frequent basis so that like narratives are easy to follow, stories are developed. We've been in this space for a while now where like tournaments are really, really sparse, and TOs like don't coordinate super well about like their dates and how their tournaments like flow together, which isn't necessarily like their fault. I think it's like really hard to do that because like in this grassroots space where you're just fighting to like make your event happen.
404s have
really
been popping
tough.
off.
But all of those things, like if we had like a Genesis-esque major every, like say we had a super major every 4 months, or sorry, every 3 months, and then like a smaller major every month in between, and that was like and then with like some sort of reoccurring like smaller events in each region that were scheduled on the same channel and happened every week, like there would be things to follow, progression and storylines to keep up with, and that's like what keeps people invested.
You know, it's one thing that's pretty interesting that I just thought of. Do you guys sometimes feel like there's too many tournaments? Not now. I feel like we've had a few dry spells here and there recently. I was like talking about it the other day. I feel like nowadays like regionals turn into majors. And I feel like in Smash 4 or maybe a little earlier Ultimate, it wasn't too much of a thing. Sometimes I feel like there's a lot of tournaments going on. Not to say it's a good or a bad thing, just like something that I feel sometimes. I'm like, oh, another one. Oh, another one. Oh, a few. Yeah, the thing is, there's a lot of people, a lot of tournaments, a lot of regions. Smash is big. I feel like that's not like a bad problem to have. Just sometimes I'm like, wow, another one? Interesting. Who's at this one? Oh, this person's not at this one. Wow, who's at that one? Oh, whoa. Yeah, because yeah, the only reason like I kind of feel this way is because, you know, Charles and EE, I live with them, and there's times where like they're just barely home, and I'm like, damn, you guys are going to something again? You guys are going to something again? And like I used to do that a lot. Of course, like when I was like super traveling to stuff. But yeah, just like something to think about. There's a lot of the storylines don't come from like certain tournaments. Like I think maybe that's a part why I like the glitch series so much right now. There's a lot of glitches. I feel like it's really easy to be like, oh, this glitch, kind of like the 2GG sagas, like this glitch, this happened, this glitch, that happened, and usually they're really exciting. I don't really like. This is a fresh thought to me. I don't really have like anything coherent to come out of it, but yeah, sometimes I feel like there are a lot of tournaments going on. I personally don't have answers. I have kind of just like how I feel about things. But I do think like let's look at the PGR. So Chag has Crime, Cosmos now has Beast Coast, Elegant has Armada. I don't talk too much to a lot of the Armada players. Esam has Panda, Louis Money unsponsored. Mars has Panda. All right. DeBuzz has Liquid, Cola has Moist, Light has Moist, Meister had SSG, has Moist. Yeah, Chag is no longer Crime. Tweaks TSM, Spargo's Phase, and then Leo is T1, right? So out of this list, I think I have the B list too. I think this is the B list. Aaron has Moist. I don't know what Checkmate does for Anathema. Armada's gone? Are they? I don't know what TV does for Charlie. Jackal's unsponsored. Send is Paragon. Wrath is unsponsored. Fatality's Furia. Goblin's Moist. Leon's SSG. Mute's unsponsored. MVD's Thunder. Myron is also Paragon. I don't think Riddles is EMG anymore. Leon's unsponsored? He's not SSG anymore? Oh, God. Then Tilde is No Pause. Wadi is Panda. Zomba's unsponsored. So, like, if we look... So, at unsponsored, Paragon, unsponsored, TV, I don't know what they do. I don't know what Anathemas does. Moist. So, it's 2 unsponsored. Unsponsored, Panda. I forget Tilde's one. I think Sonic's was unsponsored. I could be wrong. No, Sonic's is Bandits, right? Sonic's is Bandits, unsponsored. Myron's Paragon, MVD's Thunder, unsponsored. Moist or Furia, unsponsored. Beast Coast, unsponsored. Panda, unsponsored. Panda, Moist asterisks, and then I think it's Moist. Liquid, T1, Phase, TSM. And that's out of how many? 3, 7, 13, 19, 24, 30. Out of 30, we have 9 unsponsored. So being like in this like quote unquote top 30 for 2022 going into 2022 wasn't that good. Now imagine being in like the top 50. Imagine how much deeper this like thing goes, you know? Where am I? I'm technically on here. Cloudy, Loaf, Quid, and me. So I'm technically on here. But then if you add me, then you add 2 to... I think at least 2 more unsponsored. So yeah, it's very interesting. I don't know. I'm not expecting this video to change your opinion. I wasn't expecting it to change mine. I just personally I like having conversations with Aiden about these types of topics because one, Aiden's really passionate about it. Two, he's been a TO in the scene. And three, he knows a lot about the ecosystem of esports. So I just hope you guys found this video interesting more than anything. I do like talking about and thinking about ways to help the Smash scene as a whole. I just think it's really difficult. Yeah, I just this is something that I like personally thinking about, and maybe one day it'll come to fruition. Yeah, and by the way, guys, this is specifically talking about American Smash Brothers. This does not correlate too much with like the esports system in Japan. It could even be different in like Canada, Mexico, Europe. I don't know too much about the overall stuff personally. I know a lot more about the Smash side of things. Aiden might, but this was definitely a little more catered towards America's Smash side of things, you know.